I have been waiting 8 months to harvest ginger and loofah, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to do today. Harvesting the loofah is going to be super easy. Just pull the fruit from the vines and let them dry indoors for a few weeks before you try to do the seeds. That's how I'm going to be doing them anyway. But one of the things that I am super excited about this year is ginger. If you guys are new here, my garden is in central Indiana. I'm in Zone 5. We are getting our first frost here in the next couple of days, and I do not want to risk the plants being ruined by the frost. So I am just going to harvest them today, and I'm just going to keep them inside, making sure they're nice and safe. And if you're wondering how I did this, how I started the ginger and all of that stuff, I am going to leave links to the videos in the video's description of this video. And I am going to show you how I did that from the beginning. But just to recap, back in Valentine's Day, I started soaking some store-bought ginger rhizomes, the healthiest that I could find. I put them in a 10 by 10 container in my indoor grow room, just a little corner in one of my guest rooms, and I put them in a little bit of potting soil, and I gave them water, and they started rooting. They grew beautifully. That was the easiest that I have ever done as far as ginger goes. And after a few weeks of sprouting and rooting in that potting mix, I moved them into small black containers where they could just develop and grow until they were ready to be outside. I started taking them outside at the beginning of May, and by May 10ish, when I was free of frost here in central Indiana, I put them in this huge container. This container is huge, and I placed them outside in the east side of my garage where they got morning and early afternoon sun, and they got shade during the rest of the day. And they have been doing amazing, you guys. These plants are at least 3 feet tall, if not more, and they are still looking amazing. I did spot a couple of flowers that they wanted to flower. They're not gonna have time to do that, but some of the leaves on these plants are starting to brown, are starting to die. But like I said, we're having frost, we're having temperatures in the low 30s, very low 30s here in the next couple of days, and I do not want to risk it. So you and I are going to be witness of this ginger. This is my first time growing ginger. I have no clue how it's going to be, but I'm excited about it. I might need to loosen up some of the soil. Yeah. I might have to loosen up some of the soil. I don't really want to have to break. The stems, I want to grab them as whole plants if possible. There are a lot of roots on this. Oh, that might just be the one. That might just be a whole one piece. Okay, so I was hoping to get pieces, you know, nicely by themselves. That's not gonna happen. So I am just going to get the whole thing through the branches. And I'm going to place them on the table. Wow. Wow. Very carefully. I really want to save a lot of this soil here, but sometimes it is not possible. Wow. Look at that. Look at that. That's a nice chunk. Oh, wow. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. Look at that. Oh, that's beautiful. That is a lot. That is a lot of ginger. And as I am getting rid of of pieces of potting mix. I just want to make sure that I'm not getting rid of anything that may have been growing deep, but I don't think this plant, at least from what I have seen, I don't think that it goes deep. I think that it just goes wide. Well, that just kind of became a little messier than I was expecting. It's okay. And the smell, you guys, the smell of ginger as I am doing this is just wow, like just wow. Wow. Oh, wow. There is so much to show you here, you guys. Look at that. Like, look at that. Look at all this beautiful, beautiful ginger. This is just beautiful. This is just amazing. Look at that. Just to show you, you can do this here in central Indiana. I know that it's not completely mature, but I mean, I am going to cook with it, so I know that I might not even have to peel it because it is very, very tender. Wow. And honestly, I mentioned the smell. If you guys could just smell this through the screen. There's so many roots. There's so many new babies wanted to like form. That makes sense. And it is completely a mess, completely a mess. Look at this beautiful ginger. Look at that. Look at all this beauty, you guys. Look at all of these. I grew this. I grew this from seed. Look at this. Isn't this so gorgeous? Amazing. I started a bunch of this ginger indoors. Store-bought ginger. And I planted about half of those containers that I had indoors. And look at that. Look at this beauty. These are just so amazing in my opinion. So what I'm going to do, now is I'm just going to finish cutting the stems and the roots from all of the harvest that I got. My goodness, you guys, this honestly, I am so happy. I wasn't sure just how much ginger I was gonna get from this. Being my first time with this ginger, growing ginger here in my zone. Look at that. Can you guys see that gorgeous piece? Look at that. Look at that. Oh my goodness. It is so, so amazing. So amazing. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I am just basically cutting the roots and the stems. I am going to give them a nice wash. I can cut the roots with my hands because they're so soft. I am going to bring them indoors. I am going to keep them in the fridge. I might have to figure out a way to store these. Maybe I will freeze it. I don't know yet, because I never had to deal with this much ginger all at once. So if you have any recommendations for me to how to storage, how to keep it, maybe I'll dehydrate it and make it into a powder. I don't know yet. Look at this beauty. Definitely a lot messier than I was expecting, but that's okay. Not bad. Not bad for being the first time. Look at that. Isn't this just beautiful? Look at this, you guys. Look at all of this ginger. Look at that. Starting to get super, super sunny. I did not think that the ginger was gonna take me that long, but I wanna show you the loofahs because like I mentioned, I have frost coming here in the next couple of days and my loofahs are definitely ready. They are, some of them are readier than others. The two that I just picked are probably the best looking ones as far as harvesting them. But there are others that are still a little bit green, but I'm going to harvest them right now because I don't want to raise them. I have been waiting for 8 months, almost 8 months, to grow these plants to maturity, to grow the fruits to maturity, and I'm ready. Let's just do it. These are all the loofahs that I harvested from one loofah plant. I started those on February 18th, if I remember correctly. So almost 8 months to the day. So almost 8 months I have been waiting to harvest these guys. As you can tell, these two right here are the ones that are looking a little bit more mature as far as coloring and texture. They are very, very leathery, and if I push hard enough I can easily, can you hear that? I can easily break that. I just know that they're a little bit wet inside because I kind of picked a little bit, and I can see the seeds, but I'm going to let all of these loofahs dry inside for a couple of weeks or so. And I know that I am going to have good seeds from these two, the ones that are almost ready. This right here, this one definitely feels a little heavier and it's still very, very green. And this one is kind of in the middle. It's not as heavy, but it is definitely still a little bit greenish. You can see the comparison there. So I am definitely going to save seeds from these. I know that I'm going to have plenty of seeds from these ones, and I'm not going to save seeds from these guys right here, but they're all going to wait inside for a couple of weeks. They're going to dry and they're going to be amazing. And I actually do want to show you a little guy. This right here is my first official loofah that I harvested from my one plant. Can you see? I have some seeds in there. Actually, if I shake it, you can hear the seeds in there. This is what happened with this little guy. I had some of this fruit, they were starting to appear on the vine, and this guy kind of fell on its own. Very little, very green, very heavy, and I had no idea what to do with it. So I just put it inside by the window. I let it dry. This happened about a month and a half ago. Again, very, very tiny. And the other day I checked and I peeled it. It was nice and brown, nice and dry, and the loofah, the texture is there. You can see some of the seeds in there. Obviously, I do not intend to save seeds from this guy. but I am going to keep it because it is beautiful, you guys. The texture is just beautiful, beautiful. So this is officially my first loofah that I harvested in my garden. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I had lots of fun growing ginger and loofah for the first time in my garden. I am definitely not going to repeat loofah next year. It was fun experimenting. It was fun growing it. But ginger, for sure, is one of those things that I am definitely going to grow in my garden next year because it was so easy. You guys, if I can do this, you can definitely do this in your own place. If you have a container big enough, you can definitely do this. Thank you for being here, and until the next time.